Alrighty guys, let's talk about boredom. When I get on calls with guys who are in the program and I ask them, what is your primary trigger to want to watch porn and act out and have this uncontrollable desire to escape? Inevitably, they say either boredom or stress. In fact, today I had 4 men that I talked with in a row that said my primary trigger is boredom. Now, I completely understand this, but there's something interesting going on underneath boredom that I want to get into today, because it doesn't logically make sense. If you think about it, it doesn't logically make sense linearly that I'm bored, I'm gonna go do something that I absolutely hate, that causes me so much destruction and torment, that's bad for me, and I don't want to keep in line with in my life because it's not in line with who I want to be in my life. It doesn't make sense logically. So there's something else going on, right? So if you think about it from the perspective of all of history, we have never, ever been able to access phones, video games, social media, TV, movies, porn, in all of history. It is easier than ever before to escape. It is easier than ever before to stimulate ourselves with supernormal activity and hyper-stimulating behavior that takes us instantly from a state of bored to completely over the top stimulated, right? So this is fundamentally the easier thing to understand. There's 2 things going on when you're bored. The easier thing to understand is this. From a very young age, usually teenagehood or earlier, whenever, you have developed a dependency on supernormal stimuli to not be bored. And if you do that for many years and many decades, guess what happens? You don't know how to not be bored. And this is why there's an epidemic of people that can't just sit. It's harder for us. It is, and I'll admit myself too. It's hard to just not do anything, to just sit in an airplane and just not be on the phone or not listen to music, but just look out the window and admire and just sit for hours. It's hard to do. We're not doing it. People can't just sit and then stand in an elevator without whipping their phone out because they're uncomfortable. People can't just sit at a stoplight in their car without whipping their phone out because it's boring, right? This is what's going on. This is the easier thing to understand, is that if you've trained yourself over many years to not be bored, guess what? You don't know how to be bored, and also you require more and more and more of the same stuff just to not be bored. So this is why, an example, you can be on wake up on a Saturday, you might roll out of bed trying to wake up at earlier, like 5, 6 a.m. I'm gonna get stuff done. You wake up at 5, 8, 9, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. You think, I slept in. I should have gotten up earlier. I wanted to. I'm a piece of garbage. You roll over to your phone. You pick up your phone. See what the internet has to tell me, has to show to me. You already forfeit your freedom for the day and control to your phone. You go onto YouTube. You watch a little bit of those YouTube shorts, some videos. Before you know it, 30 minutes go by and you go, man, I just wasted 30 minutes. I should get out of bed. Before you know it, an hour goes by. I can't believe I just spent an hour, now 2 hours on YouTube. I'm gonna get out of bed. Go downstairs, gonna make some breakfast. It's already 12 o'clock. I'm gonna make some breakfast, but I don't wanna make breakfast because I'm already started this day crappy. I'm just gonna go back upstairs and play some video games. And I spend the whole day, all day playing video games and watching YouTube and social media. I feel like garbage. I think I'm gonna go watch porn. Guess what's happening here? You're escalating in your dependency and need for supernormal stimuli just to not be bored, right? This is the easier thing to understand. But what's harder for people to understand, and when I have these conversations with guys about boredom, I peel it back and ask them, what are you telling yourself? From the moment you wake up and you're bored on a Saturday or Sunday or on a day where you don't have much going on, what are you telling yourself? There's something that's going on in your head that you're telling yourself that's causing you an uncontrollable desire to escape. And what is that? In this hypothetical example of I wake up on a Saturday late because I should have woken up earlier, but I didn't. I should get out of bed, but I don't. I shouldn't check my phone immediately, but I didn't. I spent 2 hours on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and I shouldn't have. I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. I wanted to be productive, but I didn't. I should be doing more. That's not boredom, my friends. That's shame. That is, I'm a piece of shit. I can't believe how much time I'm wasting. I can't believe I just spent the entire day, half the day doing stuff that is bad for me, and I watched porn. I'm a piece of shit. And then you watch porn, and your feeling is, I'm a piece of garbage. I'm going to drown this feeling of shame with what? More of the same stuff that got me there. I'm going to go back to YouTube, feel like garbage for another hour, and then eventually go back to porn again. And this is why people can go multiple times a day and act out and watch porn. Why? Because they're stuck in the shame cycle where they keep going back to it. I think this is actually the biggest part of shame. And I'm still trying to understand this for guys because it's such a big part of boredom, is like of their relapses and why they go back to it is I feel bored. I think what's actually going on, yes, there's this supernormal stimuli part, which is why people just don't know how to not be bored, right? But I think deep down, there's a big issue going on. Maybe this is the under the iceberg thing that people aren't saying, is underneath the emotion of boredom is actually, I think I'm just not worthy. I think I should be more, but I'm not. I should be productive. I should be hustling. I should be getting stuff done, but I'm not. I'm a husband. Like, I got a faith. I should be praying more. I should be serving my community, but I'm not. I should be working on my business, but I'm not. I should be exercising and working out, taking care of myself, but I'm not. I should be serving other people, but I'm not. Guess what that's telling us? I'm a piece of garbage, and I'm unworthy. Unworthy of what? I'm unworthy of grace. I'm unworthy of love. I'm unworthy of acceptance. And if people really saw me for who I am, people would be disappointed in me. People would be unloving to me. People would be angry at me. And this is what we're telling ourselves. It's not true, though. Here's the thing, guys. It's not true. It's a thing that we're saying, but it's not true. If you're a man of faith, like I am, you know without a question of doubt that God's love, grace, whatever you want to call it, love is infinitely available anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is say, God, I accept love from you. And when you feel loved by God, by your spouse, by people around you, and you know that you're loved and you're worthy of grace and acceptance, then you do not want to watch porn. But the problem is, it's easy to understand that I'm loved, but it's hard to feel it. It's hard to feel it. And that's the issue that's going on. That's the problem. That's the real reason people have a porn addiction, which means it's also the solution. So the question is, how do you actually come to a place where you feel I'm worthy of love? I can rest on a Saturday because it makes sense because I worked hard all week. It's reasonable for me to rest. It is reasonable when you're sick. I experienced this a few months ago. I had COVID, right? Whatever. I was down. I was in bed for a few days. And I felt like garbage. And I felt like I felt so much shame and guilt. Well, like, my kids are, I should be doing more. I should be productive. I should be working, but I'm sick. And I thought to myself, why do I feel shame? I'm sick. Like, just let me rest. I work hard. I do. You work hard all week on this Saturday or Sunday. It's reasonable to rest, right? But there's something in us that's saying, you got to be more. You got to be more. You got to do better. You're a piece of garbage for resting, right? It's unreasonable. And why do we feel that? Well, you've been affirmed many times throughout your entire life by experiences, by people, by parents, that you're unworthy, that you have to be progressing, you have to be working hard, you have to, and if you don't, you're unworthy. And we tell ourselves that our entire lives, and it's not true. It's not that you're not worthy of grace and love. It's not true, but we feel it. So what's the solution again, guys? It's to remind ourselves, to reaffirm ourselves every single mother effing day that I am actually worthy of grace and I know that I'm loved. By God, whatever you want to call it, I'm loved by my community, I'm loved by my family, I am worthy of love and grace. And when you feel that, that is the best feeling in the entire planet. When you feel that, you will not want to escape. You will not want to watch porn. You will not want to. And notice that. Man, when I connect really deeply with my spouse, my wife, when I connect deeply with my kids, when I connect deeply with my parent, or with God, with my community, my brothers, I don't want to watch porn. Interesting. There's your solution. Because what you're doing is you're charging yourself. And when you charge yourself like a battery, you don't want to escape because you're charged. And the problem is every single mother effing person on the planet is running on empty. Most men are running on empty and have nobody to connect with. Even if they do not connect with them in the right way, in a deep way, and they're running on empty, which is why most people are addicted to porn. That's why. That's why. So the solution is, how do we charge ourselves every single day? And I want to give you guys this action or challenge for you. If you had to, because if your life depended on it, if you had to connect with one person every single day in a meaningful way to charge yourself up, how would you do it? He's like, well, I don't have people to connect to. I don't have a spouse. My wife is a biatch, or my dad's a dick, or my boss is I don't have it. Find somebody. I'm sorry to be aggressive here, but that's the name of the game. This is the path of victory. If you want to quit porn and have long-term recovery, this is what it's going to take. You have a spouse. Great. Tap into that relationship. Connect with her on a deep level every single day. If you don't have anybody in your life, stretch your imagination. Think, if I had to connect with someone every single day, how would I do it? That's your solution. That is your key to victory. I've seen this way too many times to not have enough conviction to tell you with utmost certainty. If you find a way to address these emotions earlier on, before they become uncontrollable desires to act out and watch porn, earlier on, when you notice, man, I feel really stressed. I just got really angry. I just flipped off the person driving in front of me in the car. I got really angry. Or my wife said this thing to me and I got really upset and agitated. It's noticing that and being like, okay, something's off. Something's off. I can feel it. I'm going to talk with somebody. I'm going to connect with somebody. I'm going to relate with somebody. And when you do that, you won't want to watch porn. I guarantee it. I promise you. If you do it the right way, you will not. And you will significantly decrease day over day, month over month. You will notice a decrease in your desire to escape because you will prefer to connect with people to release that emotion, stress, anxiety, boredom, depression, loneliness, whatever. You will prefer to alleviate that emotion in a productive way as opposed to a destructive way. Let me remind you guys, this is why women, generally speaking, women are really good at managing addictions, and they're not susceptible to addictions as much as men are. Why? Because they're really good at understanding their emotions. This is why women are not as susceptible to anger, violence, aggression, drugs, alcohol, porn. Why? Because they know how to address their emotions earlier before it becomes an issue. This is why women can't, they have to, like if they bottle up their emotions, they explode. They just can't do it because they prefer to connect with people. Men, on the other hand, we are really good at squashing our emotions and pushing it down until it just evaporates or explodes through addiction, and this is why people are addicted. People always say women are emotional, men are not emotional. No, men are very emotional. We just know how to squash it down. Women know how to express it, which is why they seem to be more emotional than men. Yes, maybe there are tendencies, whatever, but it's not that men don't have emotions. That's my point. Men have emotions. They do. The question is, how are you dealing with it? Are you dealing with it productive way or a destructive way? And chances are, if you're watching this, you are learning how to stop using porn and masturbation as a way to deal with emotions, but instead release it like women do. Women do not walk around thinking, oh, I really want to watch porn. I really want to play video games today. Oh, I just got to push myself through it. Maybe 165 days, 120 days, 365 days after I have nofap, then I'll just not want to watch. They just don't want to watch porn. They don't want to. Why? Because they don't need to. Because they know how to deal with these emotions productively, okay? They don't want to. Your mom or your wife, whoever, they don't walk around, I really want to play video games. Like, I really want to play video games. I just want to do it. They don't think like that because they don't need to. Generally speaking, of course, right? There are many women that are addicted to stuff, but it's not nearly as much as men, right? So let's take a page out of the book of women or people that generally have better self-awareness. It's not a male-woman issue. It's people that have very good self-awareness, emotional intelligence, don't struggle with addictions as much as others. Men, women, doesn't matter. People of that category manage stuff better because they don't want to. They don't need to, all right? That's your action today. Figure out how to deal with your emotions. Identify your specific emotion that you tend to use to alleviate porn, to run away to porn, which is boredom, stress, whatever your thing is. Figure out your primary roadblock and be like, okay, this is my battle. I got to figure out how to deal with this and address this in a productive way. And keep doing that and keep gnawing at it until before you know it, you will see a decrease in your desire to watch porn and an increase in your self-awareness, and you have mastered it, my friend. All right, lots of love to you guys. Did you know this entire channel is filled with videos about how to quit porn and masturbation? People just like you. So if that's you, you're gonna want to follow, subscribe, comment, like, engage, all that good stuff. I love you all.